Hi Stitchy friends, it's Michelle and this is my channel, Penny's Daughter Shares, Flosstube number 8. And I have a few things I think that are fun to share with you today. If you're new here, this is a channel mostly about cross stitch, but I do some, that reminds me of Chandler and Friends in this interview. Yes, okay, I'm a Friends dork. I just love it. Backtrack. What was I saying? Oh, so it's mostly about cross stitch, but I also quilt, or I'm starting to get back to it and do some sewing, and I will probably have some other crafts that come up from time to time. I believe that today is all cross stitch, so it's all cross stitch all the time. How are you doing? Are you doing good? I hope so. How's my week been? Mostly uneventful this week. Last weekend, different story. The first thing I have to tell you, and I apologize for anyone that's not into football, especially college football, but I think I've explained before that I graduated from Michigan State University. So as we like to say, I bleed green. And I know I've told you my favorite color is green. I'm sure there's more than just a coincidence between those two things. So anyway, it was the huge rivalry game between U of M and MSU last Saturday. And we were watching it, and it got to toward the end of the game, and U of M had the football. We had the lead. We were obviously trying to defend, and I was standing behind my couch watching the game like this, like, ooh, come on. And I'm going, interception. And what happens? The quarterback threw an interception, and I started jumping and screaming, and oh my gosh, and we won. And I won't reenact the entire thing because it might be really annoying, especially if you're trying to wear earbuds and I started screaming. Let's just say it was pretty loud at our house for a while. So for anyone that is a Spartan fan out there, go green. So anyway, that was really, I would say probably a highlight of my week. It always is every year. And so we had a lot of fun with that. So yeah, bragging rights for a year. What can I say? So yeah, so that was Saturday. Then Sunday was Halloween. I'm sure most of you remember that. I don't know. If you're like me, you lose track of things. But so we had trick-or-treaters. We live in a neighborhood, so I gave out all 90 full-size candy bars that we had, and actually ran out before trick-or-treating was done. And I'm not sure if our neighborhood tends to be a lot more younger kids, so I think maybe that's why. I'm not sure, but next year I'll have a few more candy bars because I don't like turning my lights off before 8 o'clock. That's when trick-or-treating ends for us. I don't know how it is where you live, but so anyway, I have a really funny story about trick-or-treating that's not related to trick-or-treating at all. And it's hilarious now. When it was happening, it was not hilarious. So I stayed home while my husband, Jeff, took our 2 younger kids out and walked and did the trick-or-treating. And I was hung out in our driveway to hand out to the trick-or-treaters. And I had my hair pulled back like I always do, but I had it like in a scrunchie or something. And so it was kind of coming out. So I decided to tighten it up. So I grab, my ponytail and I pull out the scrunchie and go to put it back in. And I didn't feel like, I guess I felt it bump my ear, but I didn't really notice a big thing, except something made me go like this, and my diamond earring was gone. Jeff bought those for me and gave them to me on our honeymoon. So let's see, I've had them almost 22 years and I've never lost one, like not even really a scare. And I wear them all the time, like especially during pandemic here and we've been at home. I wear them every day, all day. So yes, missing earrings. So I'm going, wait, maybe I don't have them on. So I go like this, nope, earrings there. So I immediately start to panic because of course I'm in my driveway. It's dark out. I'm by myself. I know it's gotta be in my clothes. I had like a hoodie on and how am I gonna find it? But I don't wanna move and what do I do? So I start like I'm going like this, feeling in the hood, trying to feel, is it stuck in my hair? Because I didn't have the back or the earring itself. And so I'm doing this and I'm like, okay, I'm not finding it. So without giving you an exact play-by-play, boring retelling of the story here, let's just picture this. I am in my driveway, on my hands and knees, with my cell phone flashlight pointing at the driveway, going, come on, it's gotta be right here. It can't be that far. I end up taking off my hoodie, but try to do it carefully. And then I don't remember exactly what happened, but I was like up on my knees in the driveway with my feet, like I was sitting on my feet and I moved or felt my shirt or something. And I felt something tap the bottom of my shoe. I can't make this up. It was my earring. Oh my God. Found my earring. And then within a couple of seconds, so I was like, okay, I can get a new back. The earring, not so easy, right? So, but then when I moved around a little bit more, I don't know, I ended up finding the earring back too, right after. So now I can laugh about it that I'm on my hands and knees with my flashlight on my phone in the driveway until I found my earring. Yes. So when Jeff got home and I told him what happened, because, I got to tell him the story. I can't just tell him, hey, I have it on, right? I don't have that now, but yes. And he's like, well, did you find it? Like, am I crying? I would be crying. I mean, I almost started just having a breakdown in the driveway when I was looking. I couldn't find it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll never forget that. And I thought you might enjoy the story. I mean, it's so crazy. And how I found it, I don't know. I'm still amazed. So, I mean, because it's not like I could leave my spot and tell Mitchell, because he was in the house, like to come and help me or anything. I was by myself. And so, yes. I guess I probably could have texted him. I didn't think of that at the time. Well, it don't matter now. I guess I was just panicked and couldn't think straight. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy the story. So that was my sort of excitement for the whole week, because the rest of this week has been pretty boring, normal, whatever. I did like 6 loads of laundry yesterday. Boring. So anyway, let's see. The first thing I want to kind of talk about, I've had a couple of questions that have come up a couple of times, or more than once, I want to say, that I wanted to try to answer, and hopefully that'll help everybody. I will tell you this again, but I'm putting links down below in the description box to help you find things that you're asking me for. So the first one will not be in the description box, but I've had several people ask me for tutorials for lacing or how I've been doing some finishes. And I think one even asked me like to kind of maybe do a tutorial through a whole walkthrough of a finish. And excuse me, I would love to do that for you because I love watching that stuff. I am technologically not there yet. So I know it's not probably that big of a deal, but my concern is I'm slow. I mean, think turtles and snails, like slow when it comes to finishing. It takes me a really long time. I pay attention to every detail. I'm thinking as I'm going, and so I'm changing my mind and doing some different things. And so I want to be able to edit the video that I'm not putting up a 5-hour tutorial of showing you what I did. Nobody wants to watch that. And I can't talk for 5 hours, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'll try sometime. Okay, anyway, short answer is no on any tutorials yet, but I would like to do something in the future. Like I said, technologically, when I get there, I'll get there. In the meantime, I'll just keep trying to show you my details in my floss tubes and try to answer your questions when I can, you know, when you ask me questions about the details. So then the other question that's come up a couple times, excuse me, is about the magnets and washers that I use. And I apologize that I was not thinking last week and like, hey, maybe I should show the package. I don't know, something simple like that. So I'm going to show you packages and down below, like I said, in the description box, I have a link to the exact magnets that I am going to show you and the exact washers that I'm going to show you. So I hope that that will help you. I'm going to start with the magnets. Here's the package. Is that helpful? Probably not. So you can see there's a variety of sizes in there. But you can see that they're not very thick. And that was what the main thing that I was telling you about. So these are from Amazon, link below to this. And I just looked at it earlier and you can still buy this exact pack. What I would recommend and what I plan on doing going forward is I'm going to try to buy the larger diameter ones only, because I don't know if you can, yeah, see in there, it's like the size of a pencil eraser in diameter, and they're probably strong enough to do something, especially if you added a few, but I just think it'll be easier to have a little bit bigger. So that would be my recommendation. So you can check it out at Amazon. And then I'm gonna apologize for the coughing right now, and so that I don't say it 100 times. I'm gonna try to keep it at a minimum. It's been bad the last couple days. And I know it's allergies. It's just constant. I don't feel bad. It's just this constant cough. So I have my water and hopefully I can get through here without driving you crazy. And if you have earbuds in, I'm really sorry if it comes out and it's really loud. All right, so the washers. Here is the package, okay? These are from Home Depot. You can see the dimensions here. But the dimensions, I don't know if that's gonna be terribly helpful. I think this smaller dimension is the size of the hole in the middle, and I think the larger dimension is the full diameter of the washer. Again, link below, it's this exact pack. These work fantastic, and I don't know the exact thickness of either of these things, the magnets or the washers. I don't know. Yeah, you can't. I'll show, here's the side view of some washers. I don't even know if that's focusing, but you can see they're slightly less than the magnets. So that's what I use. They're working really great. The other thing I like about these particular magnets is I don't know what the shiny coating is or whatever, but I've used some others that are like that black. It's almost, I don't know, chalky, I don't know what to call it. Like it's not smooth. And it feels like it's gonna mark things up, and these don't feel that way. So magnets and washers. Links below. Get you some. So let's see. Yes, okay. I was double checking. Those are my questions that I wanted to cover with you guys. The other thing I wanted to talk about today was a few Flosstubers that I like a lot, and I am struggling with this because I would like to do a video or a section of my video where I told you all of my favorites, but I'd probably be here like an hour. And I don't think that's what you come to talk to me about or to listen to me talk about. Plus I'm kind of weird. I'm just looking at my notes and I see that I forgot how I really wanted to start. So let's pretend this is now at the beginning. I want to start out by saying thank you so much for the love for my FFO Palooza that I had last week. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know if I can ever recreate that week, and I certainly can't do it a second week in a row. That was a lot of stuff I did. Wow. But also I really appreciate all the great compliments and feedback that you guys gave me. So thank you. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I was talking about Flosstubers. So here's the other thing. I feel bad, or I worry that there are maybe some that have mentioned me on their channel or have given me specific comments and stuff. And if I don't mention them on here, that I'm gonna make them feel bad, because I don't know, that I just worry about that. Like that I'm giving favored treatment to people and it's not fair. I don't know if that's the right wording. So I want to say, any Flosstuber that I've ever watched, and this is going to go for Instagram too. Like, I think of everybody who gives me comments, who I give comments to. I think of everybody as my friend. And honestly, I'm probably a little bit crazy about some people. Like, I'm like, please talk to me. Please answer my comment. Because I just think you're my friend. So, I just wanted to put that out there, that I think everyone is wonderful. And I think a lot of you think of Flosstubers and Instagram shares that we're all friends and we all like to share. So that being said, I'm going to talk about 5 Flosstubers that I really like. I'm not going to say they're my favorites, because I like so many, but these are 5 I want to talk about. How about that for today? And I'm sure I'll bring up some more later at other times. Excuse me. So the first one is, I'm going to mention Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. I know I mention her almost every week. Liz, call me. I'm such a dork. No, Liz, like, if I could pick somebody that I wanted to meet, like, she would be at the top of my list. I love what she does. I don't necessarily want to stitch everything she stitches, but I love seeing her process, and I love, honestly, I love a lot of what she stitches, and I love her finishing techniques and sewing techniques and all those things that she shares with us. So, and she's one of the first people I found when I started watching Flosstube. So that kind of has an effect too, right? So, anyway, I know you don't know it, Liz, but you're considered one of my good friends. Let's see. Who else do I have on my list? Okay. I've mentioned Two Tall Stitchers before. That's Jenn and Carol, and mother-daughter. If you haven't watched them, make sure and go check them out. By the way, I will have everyone linked below in my description box I'm talking about. Jenn helped me. I asked her some questions before I started my Flosstube. We had talked a little before that. So again, I think of these people as my friends. And I love that Jenn and Carol get to be mother and daughter and share all the stitching together. Oh, I wish that I got to do that. And so it's can make me sad, but yet really adds to my fun. That makes me enjoy them more, that they get to have that. And so by me watching their videos, it's kind of like I get to have a little piece of that too. So yeah, they're fun and I really enjoy watching them. So let's see, next. I don't want to forget anybody that I wrote down. Nicola at Bumble Stitches. I love almost everything she stitches. It's all beautiful. She shows us her sewing. She talks about knitting. I don't know how to knit or crochet, but I sure admire it. Maybe someday, you know, when I have free time and I've run out of hobbies and projects. Do we think that'll ever happen? No, probably not. Anyway, yeah, Nicola at Bumble Stitches. Will I ever get to meet her? I don't know. I mean, she lives in the UK. I hope I'm saying that right because geography. Anyway, she's enjoyable in her videos. Like, just the way she talks is so nice and friendly, and it's like you're having a sit down with one of your pals. It's fun. Let's see. Okay. Stitchy Sarah Reads. So this is obviously Sarah. And she started her Flosstube, I think, this past summer. And I think it's 4th grade that she teaches. But I have sent her comments almost every video that I can tell she's a teacher. And I mean that in the best possible way. Like when I would first watch her Flosstubes, it absolutely reminded me of how the teachers that my kids had for sure last year while they were doing virtual school, how they talked to the class and kept them engaged. And that totally comes across with Sarah. And I think it's fantastic. And she's fun and she talks about books sometimes, and I love to read and I don't do it enough because now I'm obsessed with stitching. Okay, so I used to be obsessed with reading. So yeah, if you haven't seen Stitchy Sarah Reads, excuse me, go check her out. And finally, I want to talk about the Bougie Stitchers. And they're sisters, and it's Jenn and Nancy, and they make me laugh every single episode. They're just very funny and have like some dry humor that comes across, and it just makes me laugh. So again, I would say a lot of what they choose to stitch, I probably wouldn't choose to stitch, but that's what part of the fun is that everyone has different, you know, taste and different interests. And so sometimes that's really fun to see the different stuff. The other thing that's cool is that they are fairly new stitchers, and they're pretty open about, you know, when they struggle with things. And I think that's fun. And when they're discovering things that they didn't know existed, that's really fun. Ooh, sorry for the noise. So yeah, so if you haven't checked them out, go check out Bougie Stitchers. All right, and that will conclude my Flosstube talk. Flosstubers talk. So let's see, let's get to something more related to stitching. I did a lot of, I'm gonna call it organizing and planning kind of thing. So one things I did, and I have one of my boxes right here behind me, I actually finally organized my scrapbook. Hello? Cross stitch fabric. So this particular box has all of my 40 count in it. And then I have a couple other boxes, same size, they're not as full. Can you guess what my favorite count is? Actually, I love 28 and stitching 2/2 also. I just seem to keep collecting 40. So I have lots to choose from when I kit up projects and want to start something new. So that's one thing I did. Another thing I did was, well, it's kind of two things at once. I did lists, and they're not 100% complete yet. I'm working on it. A list of my whips and a list of what I'm calling my kitted up projects. Some of them are just floss in the chart and no fabric yet. Excuse me. But I could pretty much pick any of them up. They're ready to go. Maybe I need to grab a piece of fabric to stitch it on. So I'm working on getting all of those organized. And before you ask, yes, I will do a whip parade. I'm not sure, I haven't quite figured out when that's going to be yet. Sometime between now and the end of the year. Is that vague enough? But seriously, I do plan on doing one. I just not exactly sure when I want to do it, if it is going to be a regular episode time or it's going to be special or whatever. And then I think I'm going to do a kit parade too, because yeah, I have a few kits. It's part of the collecting, right? So I did those lists, and then I want to lead to trying to make a list in particular for 2022, but there may be some things to finish this year too, that I can plan to do. And that's all part of my trying to prioritize what I really, really love and make sure that that's what I'm working on, not the things that I just sort of like and, oh, well, that's cute and let's add that. I'm trying to prioritize my things because there's so many, right? We can't possibly stitch everything we want to stitch. And so I'm trying to organize some things and get them set. And so my other lists that I need to put together, well, a couple more. One is charts that I have already, but I haven't kitted them up yet. And then I want to do an ongoing list of what I think I really love, or that's probably not the right wording, but start a list of when I find something that I really like, it goes on the list, and then I can compare what's already on that list and go, you know what? I want to stitch at least 5 things more than I want to stitch this. So yeah, it's probably not going to make the list anymore. I don't know. That doesn't sound like that will work exactly, because my wish list could be a whole lot longer than 5 items, right? Yeah, So, but if I can get a wish list done, then I will use that to help me choose and decide on new projects and what I want to do. So hopefully that'll help me. Maybe my talking helped you a little. I don't feel very organized yet. So hopefully you all are feeling more organized than me. All right. We need to talk about stitching. So let's see. I am going to start with what's on my list. And I'm going to try to go in order because I wrote it down for a reason. Okay, so first up is a finish this week. This is Little House Needleworks October's Party. You've seen this several times from me. I stitched it on 40 count fiber on a whim brown sugar. I used the called for Classic Colorworks flosses. Okay. And how's that for being able to rattle all that off? I'm pretty impressed with myself. Okay, so here is my finish. Excuse me. So everything is stitched as on the chart, except, okay, I added my initials and I added the year. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who the person was on Instagram that I should give credit to. I saw them post this and they had very similar positioning of their initials and the year, and I thought it was fantastic and I needed to add it. So I did that. And then as a reminder, the other thing I did was my mom's birthday was in October. And when I first read this chart, it reminded me, it just gave me feelings of her. Excuse me. And so I put her name in here by changing there it is. Sorry, I'm trying to read it backwards. Penny. I stitched that in Classic Colorworks Colonial Copper, and that was a called for color. This big leaf here, for example, is stitched in Colonial Copper. And when I was stitching those letters with that color, it was the first stitches I had done with that color, and it was, I don't know if it's the floss itself or the combination with this fabric, it literally had a metallic sheen to it, and it just blew me away. So I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I really like my fabric. Maybe I'm gonna hold it back a little bit because I think the color of my fabric shows up a little bit better. You can see the green modeling there, and I tried to kind of plan it out when I laid out the chart on the fabric. So that's October's Party, finished this week, and I wanted to fully finish it, and I even ordered a frame because it's really close to fitting into an 8x10. I think I end up with a little extra border at top and bottom if I centered it. And so, but otherwise it fits in an 8x10 almost perfectly. I found a frame, I ordered it. I do not like it now that I got it home, or once it arrived. It looked like it had, I'm gonna call it a faux finish on it, with like metallic dry brushing streaks in it that looked coppery in the picture. And then it was like brown, and maybe there's a little gold in there. I don't like it at all. So I'm not sure if I'm going to return it or I'm going to try to use it. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't know if I'm going to use it and I don't like it. But I do have, so I really want to frame this. So I need to find a better frame or figure out how I'm going to use that one. So that's why it's not fully finished. Otherwise I would have gotten it done. What I did figure out is I have this rickrack, which is Lady Dot Creates. I have no idea the color name. It was in, I think she calls them bags of bits. And there's like the perfect amount. I can put a border of it at the top and at the bottom. And I think this color sets this off just right. I don't know. It's hard to show you. I also did look at, I'm gonna hold this up the right direction. Okay. Or not, you know, backwards. Backwards? I don't, the back side of the trim. How about that? I also kind of looked at this one, but I lean towards that one takes a little bit away from the stitch. So that one I don't think so. And then I have these cute pins. Ooh. That I would like to combine with it or somehow use. And then you can see this pin, and then I have a couple of 2021 charms. I don't obviously only use one on this, but I think that would be really fun to kind of add. So if I can find the right frame and then probably put some sort of a bow or something that I could tuck these into, like on one of the corners. That's what I'm thinking, but I might change my mind. I don't know. You guys have said that you like to see what I'm thinking about. Of course, usually I think I show you and that's what I end up doing. So anyway, that is October's party, my finish for the week. Okay. And FIP, finish in progress, because I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to show you another finish in progress. I'm pretty sure on this one. But again, I might change my mind. This is I Love Fall Most of All by Brenda Gervais. It's the exclusive that's only on her site that comes in the little mini kit with a tray and some little felt pumpkins. So anyway, here was my finish. I'm pretty sure I've shown it before. I stitched this on 40 count Heritage by Picture This Plus, which you can see it's kind of green, which I think looks fantastic with this. So that's the finish. And I stitched it with called for colors. I debated on the color of the pumpkin, but once I tried it, nope, I went with called for. So all of it's called for. So my idea for finishing this is, I have this frame. This is gonna go bye-bye. It's falling off anyway. I have to move the clip, which it's just screwed on there. So, and then this will cover and it'll be in the center. And then I'm still debating on the shape of what to finish this in. So I might do square-ish with some rounded corners. And then I have this, I'm gonna call it, it's a cross between ribbon and twill tape. Sorry, there you go. You can see that. I think the color is perfect. And I'm hoping that I can turn this into a ruffle that I would border this with. That's what I'm hoping for. This trim is from one of the bundles that I bought from Michael's. So I know they still sell the bundles. Whether or not that would be in there, I don't know. I don't know what color to tell you that is, but so that's my thoughts on that. So another finish in progress. And probably what I'm gonna need to do, maybe I'll need to have a consultation with Jeff. He sometimes comes up with really fantastic ideas that is a good jumping off point for me. So don't be surprised if those change between now and when they're actually FFOs. All right, and then let's see, the last thing I want to show you. Okay. Excuse me. So this I haven't shown before, and I'm gonna call it a FIP, a finish in progress, because I am thinking about it. And I'll explain kind of my plans here in a second. It is not seasonal. I've had it stitched for months. It's been in my box and I pulled it out this week. And I'm like, no, I need to finish that. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be finished round. So here is the front of the chart. I took my name out there. But this Etsy shop is listed down below in the description box. She does all kinds of custom charts, and I ordered 2 from her last year on my anniversary because I don't know, I found it and I thought they were really cool designs, and when I talk about how I want to finish it, it'll make more sense too. So this is the one, this is one of them. So it has this viney wreath on the outside, a big monogram letter, and then our last name is spelled out in script. And then this is our wedding date in Roman numerals, which I love, which actually, let me explain that because I think it's so cool. Like I said, Roman numerals of our wedding date. And the first time I laid this out, this is what I thought. So I think you know my name's Michelle. Growing up, before I got married, my initials were M. In 5th grade, because there were multiple Michelles in my class, I would write on my paper, my name on my paper was M cubed. So goofy. Anyway, I think this looks like it says, I love Michelle. So like for Jeff to say that, I think that's what that looks like. Isn't that cool? I think that's so cool. So anyway, there's that one. And then I also got this chart. I haven't stitched any part of this chart yet. So you have this big fancy monogram, and then this is block letters here. All of this is all, and then this is a stitched design out here if you want to do all of that. So this is one of a kind baby design. They're on Etsy, and I think that's the name of their shop. Like I said, it will be linked below so you can go click on it and check them out. She does like, you know, I want to call it birth announcements, but that like a birth sampler. That's what I want to say. Birth announcement. Okay. Lots of cool different, like you could do last name things. And I want to say, I don't think that this part here was in this design originally, and I asked her if she could add that, and she did, no problem. And I'm not kidding you, like I placed my order or asked her some questions in the afternoon on a Friday, and after answering my questions and everything, I think she delivered this by Friday evening. It was a PDF. So make sure and check it out if you're interested in this. So I just thought these would be really fun to be able to do this. So what my thought was when I fell in love with this was that I could stitch it and finish it in a round that it could go set sort of in the center of a wreath, if that makes sense. I have some really cool metal leaf wreaths that are white and one is silver, that are just plain metal wreaths, but then I could put this in the middle and I think that would look really fantastic. So this one I did not stitch the whole chart. Sorry, gotta find my board. Okay, so I used gingham, which I love, and then our last name and our monogram and the year we got married. I'm gonna finish this round. I couldn't stitch the whole viney wreath part and it fit inside the wreath based on the size of this fabric, which is a 32 count. So I have to look and see if I can do a smaller count. But yeah, I think this is really cute. And the wedding date and our last name, I just stitched in DMC 310 black. And then I used, this is DMC 4000, which is really variegated, brown and gray, but it's kind of a little bit bluish gray. But I think it looked really cool in the sea. I don't know if you can tell the variation, but it looks really nice. So yeah, I just want to do a circle. I'll add some trim to it. I just pulled this out and I wanted to show you, and I don't have much further than that. So that is another finish in progress. I would like to get that done because it's just a nice neutral thing and I haven't really finished up anything neutral, you know, not seasonal, I want to say. So let's see. Okay, and then I have one new start and work in progress. Can I call it both? This, and I think I showed it last week that I wanted to start it. It is Jeanette Douglas Designs Fall into Autumn. And there are 3 rows of specialty stitches on this, which I think is really cool. And I have not done specialty stitches before, so I was really excited to try it. And I have 1 row done, and it was really fun to do them. This is 32 count gray and white gingham. You can see on the back, it's pretty white, pretty bright. I sprayed it with Instant Antique spray from Primitive Gatherings. And I sprayed it before stitching anything because I didn't want to spray it on my stitching. And that's how far I've gotten this week. So yeah, this is called a carnation stitch and I think it's fantastic. It's so gorgeous. And I hope you can see that. And then I'm using the called for colors. This is 32 count, did I say that? I'm stitching 2 floss threads over 2 fabric threads on everything. So even the specialty stitches, I'm using 2 threads. Okay. Let's see, I want to tell you what color the pumpkin is. I'm sorry, just a second here. Let me pull it out of my bag. Yes, Classic Colorworks Fallen Leaves. And I don't know if you can see it in the video. Excuse me. It's got a lot of variegation in it, and I think it looks super cool. So yeah, I'm really having fun with this, and I am planning on working on it more this week. All right, so I showed you my finishes in progress, my FIPs, and my new start slash whip that I want to work on. And then I'm going to show you this. I intended on working on this more this past week, and I just didn't. I don't know. I think after my FFO marathon last week, I was kind of like, I just want to sit and stitch. Even though, I don't know, it kind of feels like I didn't do a lot of that even, but I did. I mean, I had a finish, October's party, and I started a new one. So this is definitely coming out this week. What part of it I'm going to work on, I'm not sure yet. If you remember, I'm working on cutting it all out. All the colors. I have 3 done, one being the white, which obviously would take the longest. And I have 1 block done, this one here. So I just want to I want to do some more on it. To be honest, I think I've been feeling overwhelmed with how big of a project this is. This past week in particular, just because I had done so much the week before. So I think that's kind of what made me hesitate on just getting back to it. So I just need to get back to it and work on it a little at a time, and eventually it will be done, right? Yes. So, yeah. So that's on my to-do list. So now I have 3 FFOs that I would like to get done. Although October's party, gotta see if I can find a frame first. So that may not get done this week. And then I have my work in progress of fall into autumn. And to be honest, I would love to finish that this week because I'm having so much fun stitching it. So we'll see. I might get bit by a bug to work on something else. I don't know. So I do have a couple other autumn projects, and I think my plan right now is I'm going to finish what I'm showing you here today, and that's going to kind of be my cutoff for autumn projects. If I do that, I can have, just like I did with Halloween, where I have like an even cutoff, done, and move on. That works for me. I like that. It feels organized. And so anyway, this one is on my list. I have a decent start on it. Love the name. So Plum Street Samplers Penny Autumn. Let me show you, let's see. Yeah, I'll just leave my fabric folded so I don't have, you can see. This is what I have done so far. So getting pretty far in the house. And honestly, that's probably a biggest part of it, sort of, you know, in terms of a solid large amount of stitching. I am stitching this on 36 count Ren, picture this plus. I love the color of this fabric, I really do. Stitching it 1/2. I've noticed some debate going on recently. Do you use two floss threads or 1 floss thread when you stitch over 2 on 36 count? I've heard that going on lately, and I've done both. And I think 36 count, it's too hard to stitch if you have a lot of dense, solid stitching. It's really hard to stitch that way. So, anyway, 1/2. And that's how far I've gotten. Like I said, I'd like to wrap it up. I can't do everything else that I've said and finish this week, but I would like to finish this with my fall season stuff, if that's a good way. And, oh, I don't think I said I'm using the called for colors, and they're all Classic Colorworks on this one. All right. And then my last thing, which I have not started yet, and I showed it to you last week, I have the Philanthropic Pumpkin. And I would really like to make this because I think it's so cute and it's a very different project for me. And I don't think the stitching will take all that long. So for now, because even though I haven't started it at all yet, I still have this in my, it's above my cutoff line for autumn stitching. Is that a good way to put it? My cutoff line. I think that's funny. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I just pulled the called for DMC colors for that. And then the kit has the stitching fabric and the finishing fabric and the trims and all the other stuff. So I just think that would be a really fun project, and it could be a really fun way to wrap up autumn stitching. The other thing I did work on this week was worked on kitting up some more like Christmas and holiday winter type stitching. So yeah, I don't have any collection to show you this week. Nothing has shown up, I don't think. No, I would have it out if it did. But I did some ordering. So I'll have a few things to show you later. I'm not sure when they'll come in. Will they come in before next Friday? I'm not sure. We'll see. So yeah, I think that's what I have for you today. I made my video longer than I had thought I was going to. So I hope that I gave you some good information if you had some questions or wonderings about some things. And I hope you had some fun. I hope I gave you at least a couple of laughs out of this thing. If nothing else, just picture me on my hands and knees in my driveway, looking for an earring of all things in the dark. Oh boy. All right. I hope you are all doing really well. I feel like I'm standing in a weird spot. The camera angle seemed weird. I need to get a little closer so I can hit my end button anyway. So I wish all of you well. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you get to have some fun with your stitching, or whatever else you might be doing. And I will see you next time.